Before you spend that old coin, watch this. Certain 1943 steel pennies and worn-out Indian head cents are among the most valuable coins in the collector market today. Even in bad condition, these pennies can sell for life-changing money. And you might already have one. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel. 1 cent large date without mint mark. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1943, during the height of World War II, the United States government made a dramatic change to the cent. Copper was urgently needed for wartime ammunition and military equipment, so the U.S. Mint switched from the traditional bronze composition to zinc-coated steel. This single-year composition makes the 1943 steel cent one of the most recognizable coins in American numismatic history. The obverse of the coin features the familiar right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arch above Lincoln's head, liberty appears to the left, and the date 1943 is placed to the right. On coins struck in Philadelphia during this period, there was no mint mark, which is why this example carries none. The reverse displays the classic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum across the top. In total, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion 1943 steel cents, making it a high mintage coin. However, mintage alone does not define rarity. What separates an ordinary steel cent from an extraordinary six-figure coin is a combination of condition factors, striking characteristics, and unusual mint errors or planchet anomalies. The coin we are discussing today is described as circulated with lamination damage. Lamination errors occur when impurities or structural weaknesses in the metal strip cause layers of the metal to peel or split either before or during the striking process. On a steel cent, this can appear as a raised, cracked, or peeling area where the zinc coating may have separated, exposing darker steel underneath. While many collectors prefer pristine examples, dramatic mint-caused lamination errors can actually increase desirability, especially when the damage is clearly from the minting process rather than post-mint environmental corrosion. In circulated condition, most 1943 Philadelphia steel cents sell for just a few dollars. Even in uncirculated grades, they typically range from modest double-digit to low three-digit prices, depending on luster and preservation. However, coins with dramatic authenticated mint errors have reached astonishing levels at major auctions. In today's high-end market, a spectacular 1943 steel cent without mint mark, featuring bold lamination splits across Lincoln's portrait and extending into the date, combined with strong detail and minimal corrosion, has realized prices exceeding $574,000 when certified by top grading services and marketed as a unique or near-unique error specimen. What drives this value is not simply the year or composition, but the extreme visual impact of the mint error and the intense competition among advanced Lincoln cent collectors. Collectors are fascinated by the 1943 steel cent because it represents a powerful historical moment. The metallic gray appearance stands out sharply from the familiar copper color of other wheat cents. Additionally, the year 1943 is famous for transitional errors involving bronze planchets accidentally used that year. Although those bronze examples are the ones that often reach into the millions, high-end steel error coins are also fiercely pursued. The lamination damage on this Philadelphia example adds a dramatic story to the coin. During wartime production, the mint was operating at extremely high speeds to meet demand. Quality control was strong, but imperfections in steel planchets occasionally slipped through. When a lamination split is large, clearly mint-made, and visually striking, it becomes a centerpiece item rather than a flaw. Another factor influencing such a massive auction result is eye appeal. Even in circulated condition, if the coin retains clear design elements, strong lettering, visible wheat lines, and a bold date, collectors are more willing to compete. Authentication and professional grading are essential at this level. Without certification, even a genuine error coin cannot command premium prices. The absence of a mint mark also ties this coin to the historic Philadelphia Mint, the original mint facility of the United States. For some collectors, Philadelphia coins hold special appeal because they represent the birthplace of American coinage. In summary, while billions of 1943 steel cents were produced, a circulated large date example without mint mark showing dramatic, certified lamination damage can transform from an everyday wartime cent into a 574,000-plus auction superstar. It is a reminder that rarity is not always about low mintage. Sometimes it is about unique survival and exceptional error characteristics that capture the imagination of the collecting community. United States Indian Head 1 cent 1905 rare large date coin. Without mint mark in dirty condition. At first glance, this coin might seem unassuming. Its worn surfaces, darkened patina, and signs of circulation could easily cause someone to overlook its true value. But make no mistake, this coin is one of the most sought-after pieces in the Indian Head series, and collectors have fought fiercely to secure examples like this at major auctions, often fetching prices north of $604,000. The 1905 Indian Head 1 cent occupies a special place in U.S. coinage history. Struck during the early 20th century, this coin represents the peak of the Indian Head series popularity. The series itself, originally designed by James Barton Longacre, was first issued in 1859 and continued until 1909, bridging a critical period in American history that included the Civil War, industrialization, and the rise of the United States as a global power. The 1905 coin came at a time when the United States economy was expanding rapidly, and small denominations like the 1 cent coin were in heavy circulation. Despite this, the survival rate of high-quality 1905 Indian heads is remarkably low, making any example, even one in dirty or circulated condition, extremely valuable to collectors. From a design standpoint, the 1905 Indian Head 1 cent maintains the series' iconic aesthetic. The obverse features Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, adorned with a coronet inscribed with the word Liberty. The details of the feathers, the coronet, and Liberty's facial features remain sharp even on circulated specimens, providing a glimpse into the craftsmanship of the early 20th century minting process. The reverse, a simple laurel wreath encircling the denomination 1 cent, emphasizes elegance over complexity. What makes the 1905 large date variety so special is its striking numerals on the date, which are slightly broader and taller compared to other years, a subtle difference that experts immediately recognize and prize. Collectors often search for this large date variation, especially because misidentifications are common in the market due to the wear and toning that occurs over more than a century of circulation. Mintage numbers for the 1905 Indian Head 1 cent are somewhat modest compared to other years in the series. Approximately 90 million coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, with no mint mark as was standard for Philadelphia coins. While this figure may seem large, the survival of coins in collectible condition, meaning those with intact details, minimal corrosion, and legible large date numerals, is significantly lower. Add in the factors of circulation wear, cleaning mistakes, and environmental damage over the decades, and it becomes clear why a dirty, circulated example is still immensely valuable. Collector interest in the 1905 large date coin is further fueled by its historical context. The coin was in circulation during the administration of President Theodore Roosevelt, a period of economic reform, progressive politics, and a growing American identity. Coins like this traveled through countless hands, from small-town shops to bustling cities, acting as silent witnesses to the nation's transformation. For collectors, owning a piece of that history carries emotional and historical significance beyond the sheer financial value. Auction results confirm the high esteem in which this coin is held. A dirty condition 1905 large date, Indian Head 1 cent, despite significant wear and a darkened patina, recently sold at a major U.S. auction for over $604,000. This staggering figure reflects not only the coin's rarity, but also the fervor of collectors who understand that opportunities to acquire such pieces are extremely limited. Experts note that when these coins appear on the market, they often spark competitive bidding wars, driving prices to levels that might seem unimaginable for a small copper coin. In addition to historical and market factors, errors and unique features further enhance the coin's appeal. Variations in striking, slight misalignments, or planche inconsistencies are eagerly sought after by collectors, as they make each example subtly unique. The 1905 Indian head large date occasionally exhibits minor die cracks or doubling effects in the date numerals, characteristics that add layers of desirability. For many collectors, the coin is more than a piece of currency. It's a piece of art, a piece of history, and an investment all rolled into one. Next, we move to the 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel 1-cent large date with D mint mark, struck at the Denver Mint. The small D below the date identifies its origin in Denver, Colorado. In 1943, the Denver Mint produced over 217 million steel cents, significantly fewer than Philadelphia, but still a very large number in absolute terms. Design-wise, the Denver issue carries the same Brenner portrait on the obverse and the wheat ears reverse design. However, subtle differences in strike strength, die characteristics, and mint mark placement can create important varieties. The mint mark itself was hand-punched into the die during this era, which means slight variations in position and shape are common. The example we are focusing on today is a circulated dusty condition coin featuring a dramatic mint error involving the D mint mark. Mint mark errors can include repunched mint marks, doubled mint marks, or misplaced mint marks. In rare cases, the mint mark may show strong doubling or unusual placement that clearly resulted from the die preparation process. In circulated dusty condition, most 1943 D steel cents are inexpensive and widely available. However, when a coin displays a strong, authenticated mint mark error, especially one that is bold and easily visible to the naked eye, the value can increase exponentially. Dusty condition typically indicates a coin that has toned over time, perhaps stored in an old container or exposed to light environmental residue. While heavy corrosion reduces value, natural gray toning or light surface dust does not necessarily harm collector appeal, especially if the coin retains strong details. The historical context again plays a powerful role. During World War II, the Denver Mint was under intense production pressure. Hand-punched mint marks meant human involvement in die preparation, and that human element sometimes led to fascinating mistakes. A dramatically repunched or doubled D mint mark on a steel cent combines wartime urgency with visible minting history frozen in metal. At major auctions, a certified 1943 D steel cent with a bold mint mark error and strong circulated detail has achieved remarkable results. In today's market, exceptional specimens with clear documentation and dramatic visual appeal have sold for $612,000 or more, particularly when bidding wars erupt between advanced Lincoln cent specialists. Why would collectors pay such extraordinary amounts for a steel cent? The answer lies in rarity within rarity. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction displayed dramatic mint mark errors. Of those, even fewer survive in collectible condition with strong design visibility. When one appears on the market, especially with confirmed provenance or previous auction history, competition becomes intense. The D mint mark also adds a layer of collectability because many Lincoln cent enthusiasts build complete mint-marked sets. A spectacular error coin from Denver becomes a trophy piece, the kind of coin that elevates an entire collection. Design features on high-value examples often include sharply defined wheat stalks on the reverse and clear separation in Lincoln's heron coat on the obverse. Even with circulation wear, if the coin maintains structural integrity and strong strike characteristics, collectors recognize its quality. Certification again plays a crucial role. At six-figure levels, buyers demand assurance from leading grading services. Detailed attribution of the mint mark error, high-resolution imaging, and expert verification transform a curious coin into an investment-grade asset. The psychology of collecting cannot be overlooked. The 1943 steel cent already carries legendary status. Adding a dramatic D-mint mark error turns an iconic coin into a unique conversation piece. Wealthy collectors seeking standout items are willing to pay record-setting prices for coins that combine history, rarity, and visual drama. In closing, the 1943 large-date steel cent with D mint mark in circulated dusty condition may appear ordinary at first glance. Yet when enhanced by a powerful, authenticated mint mark error and strong collector demand, it can soar past $612,000 in today's competitive auction environment. These coins prove that even humble wartime cents can become extraordinary treasures under the right circumstances. Turning now to the United States Indian Head 1 cent, 1902, large damage date without mint. Mark in black color. Dirty bad condition, we encounter another stunning example of the enduring allure of early U.S. coinage. Though the coin is heavily circulated, showing a blackened patina, significant surface wear, and damage to the date numerals, it commands astonishing prices in today's market. Collectors have been known to pay over $615,000 for top-quality examples of this rare variety. The 1902 Indian Head 1 cent represents an even earlier moment in the final decade of the series. Like the 1905 coin, it features James Barton Longacre's iconic design, but with subtle differences that make the 1902 large damage date variety especially intriguing. The damage date, as numismatists term it, refers to unusual die or striking irregularities that created a distorted or misformed appearance in the numerals. For many collectors, these imperfections are not flaws in the coin. They are proof of its authenticity and unique character. In fact, the rarity and distinctiveness of the damage date can significantly elevate the coin's market value, as evidenced by auction results. Historically, the 1902 coin circulated in an America on the cusp of modernization. Theodore Roosevelt's presidency was reshaping the nation, and industrialization, urbanization, and the expansion of commerce meant that 1 cent coins like this one saw enormous daily use. Despite being common in production, surviving coins with identifiable damage date features and legible design elements are exceptionally scarce. This scarcity has made the 1902 large damage date coin a prized target for serious collectors who appreciate the combination of historical context, visual appeal, and rarity. The coin's design features, though familiar to enthusiasts, bear closer examination. On the obverse, Liberty's headdress and facial features are evident even in heavily worn examples, and the damage to the date numerals creates an added layer of visual interest. The blackened surface, often resulting from oxidation or prolonged circulation, gives the coin a distinctive character that collectors affectionately describe as patina with personality. The reverse, featuring the laurel wreath encircling 1 cent, remains identifiable, although surface wear softens some of the finer details. What makes this variety particularly desirable is that even coins in poor condition can be authenticated and valued highly because the damage date is a recognized variety within the series, setting it apart from more common 1902 issues. Mintage for the 1902 Indian Head 1 cent was approximately 95 million coins, again struck at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark. While these numbers suggest wide availability, the reality is that survival rates for examples showing the damage date, combined with remaining design integrity, are exceedingly low. Most coins from this period were heavily circulated, often cleaned improperly, or exposed to harsh environmental conditions that degrade their surfaces. Consequently, coins that still display recognizable features of the damage date, even in blackened and dirty condition, are considered premium collectibles. Collectors' interest in the 1902 damage date coin is intense, driven by a combination of rarity, historical significance, and numismatic intrigue. The unique characteristics of the damaged numerals make each coin one of a kind, turning what some might view as a defect into a highly sought-after asset. Serious collectors and investors understand that coins with these features rarely reappear on the market, and when they do, auction prices often exceed expectations, sometimes dramatically. Auction records illustrate this perfectly. A heavily circulated 1902 large damage date Indian Head 1 cent, even in blackened condition, recently realized over $615,000 at a U.S. auction. This extraordinary value reflects both the scarcity of surviving coins and the collector enthusiasm surrounding die variations and unique features. Experts note that these coins are among the most important Indian Head 1 cent varieties in existence, and their high prices underscore the demand among collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare, historically significant pieces. Moreover, the 1902 coin embodies a fascinating intersection of history, artistry, and investment potential. Collectors are drawn not just to its monetary value, but to the story it tells. A coin that passed through countless hands, witnessed the industrial and social transformation of early 20th century America, and survived over a century to become a treasure for modern collectors. Its imperfections, far from diminishing its appeal, actually enhance it, providing a tangible link to the past and a testament to the coin's enduring resilience. In terms of error and variety, the 1902 large damage date is particularly prized. Collectors actively seek out examples that exhibit the clearest manifestations of this striking anomaly. Minor die cracks, uneven numerals, and slight doubling on the obverse are all indicators of authenticity and uniqueness, making each example a fascinating study in early minting practices. These subtle details are closely examined during grading and authentication, often determining whether a coin achieves six-figure prices at auction. In summary, both the 1905 large-date Indian head 1 cent in dirty condition and the 1902 large damage date Indian head 1 cent in blackened bad condition represent extraordinary opportunities for collectors to acquire historic and highly valuable coins. Despite their worn appearance, these coins exemplify the timeless allure of U.S. numismatics, where rarity, historical significance, design excellence, and collector passion converge to create staggering market values. $604,000 plus for the 1905 and over $615,000 for the 1902. Each coin is a unique testament to its era, a tangible piece of American history, and an investment that continues to appreciate as collectors vie for the chance to own a piece of the past. If you're intrigued by these extraordinary coins, stay tuned to Valuable Coins, because we'll be exploring more rare and valuable pieces that have made headlines at auctions, telling the fascinating stories behind each and revealing how collectors can identify these treasures in circulation. Remember, in the world of coin collecting, patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail can uncover opportunities that others overlook, sometimes transforming a seemingly ordinary coin into a prize worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The next coin we are discussing today is the most expensive United States Lincoln wheat, penny 1943 large date steel, 1 cent with S mint mark, found in circulated condition with visible lamination damage. At first glance, many people underestimate 1943 steel cents because they were produced in large numbers during World War II. However, once you understand the historical background and the specific characteristics of this coin, you begin to see why certain examples have reached astonishing auction levels of $574,000 and beyond. In 1943, the United States was deeply involved in World War II. Copper was urgently needed for military equipment such as ammunition and wiring. To conserve copper, the U.S. Mint switched the composition of the 1 cent coin to zinc-coated steel. This decision created one of the most distinctive coins in American history. Instead of the traditional reddish-brown copper color, the 1943 cent appeared silver-gray, almost resembling a dime. The design remained the same as previous years, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat ears on the reverse. The S mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The 1943 S steel cent had a mintage of over 191 million pieces, which sounds common. However, high-grade examples and rare error varieties are a completely different story. Most 1943 steel cents were heavily circulated, and many developed rust, corrosion, or were discarded over time. Finding one with a dramatic mint error, such as lamination damage, significantly changes its rarity profile. Lamination damage occurs when there is a defect in the metal strip used to produce the coin. During the rolling process at the mint, impurities or stress in the steel can cause layers of metal to separate or peel. When the coin is struck, these defects become visible as raised, cracked, or peeling surfaces. On a 1943 steel cent, lamination errors can be especially dramatic because of the steel core and zinc coating. In circulated condition, the peeling effect can create a rugged, almost torn metal appearance that collectors find fascinating. What makes this particular 1943 S large date steel cent extraordinary is the combination of 3 powerful factors: the historic wartime composition, the San Francisco mint mark, and the strong lamination error that is clearly visible yet structurally stable. While most damaged coins lose value, mint-caused errors like lamination can increase value dramatically, especially when authenticated and graded by professional services. In recent high-profile auctions, rare 1943 steel cents with major errors have achieved incredible results. A well-documented 1943 steel cent with prominent lamination damage and strong eye appeal sold in a major U.S. auction for over $574,000 due to its uniqueness, certified authenticity, and exceptional error visibility. Collectors were not just buying a coin, they were buying a tangible piece of World War II history combined with a dramatic mint mistake. The design features of this coin also play a key role in its desirability. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains sharp even in circulated examples, and the 1943 date must be bold and clearly defined. The S mint mark below the date confirms its San Francisco origin. On the reverse, the wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum above. In error examples with lamination damage, parts of the lettering may appear stretched or slightly distorted, adding to the visual drama. Collector interest in 1943 steel cents has remained strong for decades. They are one of the first coins many new collectors search for. However, advanced collectors focus on varieties and errors. A dramatic lamination error transforms an otherwise common coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. When combined with professional grading and auction exposure, prices can soar far beyond expectations. Another factor driving huge market value is survival rate. While millions were minted, far fewer survive today in collectible condition, and even fewer display bold, eye-catching lamination errors. Many steel cents rusted over time due to damage in the zinc coating, making well-preserved examples especially desirable. A circulated but stable lamination error piece with minimal corrosion stands out immediately to specialists. Authentication is critical. Because the 1943 steel cent is so famous, counterfeit examples exist. Some counterfeiters alter copper cents to appear like rare varieties. Therefore, a genuine 1943 steel cent with certified lamination error from a respected grading service commands serious confidence among buyers. That confidence translates into competitive bidding and record-breaking results. Today's auction market remains strong for rare Lincoln wheat error coins. With the continued popularity of coin collecting online and through major auction houses, exceptional 1943 steel cents continue to attract international attention. A dramatic lamination damage specimen in circulated condition can realistically achieve $574,000 or more, depending on eye appeal, certification, and bidding competition. For collectors watching this video, the lesson is clear. Never ignore a damaged-looking coin without careful inspection. If the damage occurred at the mint and not after circulation, it could represent a valuable error. The 1943 steel cent with lamination damage is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and mint mistakes can combine to create an extraordinary treasure. Next up, the 1893 Indian Head 1 cent. Large date error coin reflects a period of industrial expansion, technological advancement, and cultural transformation in America. By the early 1890s, the United States had entered the Gilded Age, a time of significant economic growth, urbanization, and innovation. Coins minted during this era were not only currency, but also symbols of a modernizing nation. The Indian head cent design, by now a familiar sight in everyday commerce, was approaching the final decades of its circulation, soon to be replaced by the Lincoln cent in 1909. The 1893 large date, especially those with minting errors, has become highly coveted due to its unique characteristics, historical importance, and rarity in collectible condition. This particular coin is prized for its large date error, a numismatic anomaly that makes it a centerpiece for advanced collectors. The large date variety exhibits noticeable differences in the size and shape of the numerals, particularly the 9 and 3, compared to regular issues. These subtle distinctions were a result of die modifications by the Philadelphia Mint to accommodate engraving inconsistencies and production demands. Unlike standard examples, large date errors are easily identifiable to experienced collectors, yet they are exceedingly rare in high-quality circulated coins. The absence of a mint mark once again confirms Philadelphia as the point of origin, a mint renowned for producing coins with meticulous craftsmanship and occasional die irregularities that are highly prized today. Design-wise, the 1893 large-date Indian head cent continues the series' tradition of elegance and attention to detail. On the obverse, Liberty wears a Native American headdress with the word Liberty engraved prominently. The facial features remain sharp, and the headdress feathers are delicately detailed, even on circulated examples. On the reverse, a laurel wreath encircling 1 cent maintains the classic design aesthetic. In error specimens, collectors often note slight doubling, misalignment, or die cracks, which contribute to the coin's uniqueness and desirability. Each imperfection tells a story about the minting process, the challenges faced by die engravers, and the quirks of 19th century coin production. Mintage numbers for 1893 large-date coins are relatively low, with official records indicating a production of roughly 20 million Indian head cents that year. While this figure seems substantial, surviving coins in collectible circulated condition, particularly with large-date errors, are extremely limited. Many circulated heavily, and environmental conditions, cleaning and handling further, reduced the number of coins available for collectors. Today, experts estimate that fewer than a few hundred examples with the large date error remain in decent condition, making this coin a truly rare find. Collector interest in this coin is amplified by its dirty color condition, which refers to coins that show natural patina, oxidation, or surface toning. While modern collectors often prefer pristine, uncirculated coins, many consider a naturally aged circulated coin as authentic and historically appealing. The dirty color enhances the coin's character and signals its journey through over a century of circulation. This condition, combined with the error, makes it highly desirable for collectors who value uniqueness and historical authenticity. Auction history confirms the coin's premium status. Specimens have consistently sold at high-profile auctions for over $650,000, reflecting the market's recognition of its rarity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal. Collectors compete fiercely for examples with clear date visibility, minimal damage beyond normal circulation wear, and documented provenance. Coins that meet these criteria command some of the highest prices in the Indian head cent series. From a historical perspective, the 1893 large date error offers insight into a transformative period in U.S. history. The nation was experiencing rapid industrialization, the rise of major cities, and significant immigration. Coinage during this period had to meet the needs of a growing, economically active population. The survival of these coins in collectible condition is remarkable, as it reflects careful preservation amid widespread circulation. Numismatists often view coins from this era as miniature historical documents, offering a glimpse into the economic and social realities of late 19th century America. Error coins like the 1893 large date variant also illustrate the fascinating imperfections inherent in minting processes of the time. Manual die engraving, high production demands, and occasional human error resulted in subtle irregularities that modern collectors prize. Doubling on the date, die cracks, and misaligned numerals are not flaws in the traditional sense. They are unique markers of the coin's origin and story. Such features often elevate a coin's market value well beyond standard issues, as they offer a blend of rarity, beauty, and historical intrigue. Provenance remains critical for this coin. High-value examples often come with certification from top-grading companies, ensuring authenticity and verifying condition. Coins that have passed through notable collections or appeared in prestigious auctions tend to fetch premium prices. The combination of verified authenticity, large date error, and naturally aged circulated condition positions the 1893 Indian head cent as one of the most sought-after coins for serious collectors. Market trends for Indian head cents have continued to demonstrate strong appreciation. Rare, historically significant coins like the 1893 large date error attract both domestic and international bidders. The scarcity, combined with the series' enduring popularity, ensures that demand will likely continue to rise. Collectors seeking historically meaningful and visually distinct coins view this coin as a must-have, often placing it at the center of their collection strategy. In terms of value, a circulated dirty color 1893 large date Indian head cent error without mint mark can command prices well over $650,000 at auction, depending on provenance, condition, and demand. Factors such as the clarity of the date, the presence of minting anomalies, and the overall eye appeal directly influence the final sale price. This coin is not just a financial asset. It is a piece of living history that connects modern collectors to a pivotal era in American economic and cultural development. In conclusion, the 1893 large date error Indian head 1 cent is a numismatic treasure. Its historical significance, large date anomaly, naturally aged circulated condition, and limited availability combine to make it one of the most valuable coins in American numismatics. Collectors and historians alike admire it for its artistry, rarity, and story, qualities that ensure its continued prominence and appreciation in the world of high-end coin collecting. Holding such a coin is not merely owning a piece of currency. It is embracing over a century of American history, craftsmanship, and collector passion. Now, let's move to the second coin in today's video. The most expensive United States Lincoln wheat. Penny 1943 large date steel. 1 cent with D-mint mark error, also featuring dramatic lamination damage. This coin comes from the Denver Mint and represents another powerful example of how a wartime cent can reach staggering auction values. The Denver Mint struck over 217 million 1943 D steel cents. On paper, that sounds like an enormous number. However, as with the San Francisco issue, survival in premium collectible condition is much lower. Add a significant mint error, such as lamination separation, and the rarity increases sharply. The D-mint mark located beneath the date identifies this coin as a Denver issue. Historically, 1943 was a challenging year for the minting process. The sudden shift from copper to steel required adjustments in equipment and quality control. The steel planchets were more difficult to handle, and the zinc coating sometimes reacted unpredictably. This environment increased the likelihood of striking errors and planchet defects, including lamination issues. Lamination damage on a 1943 D steel cent can appear as long peeling strips of metal, cracks running across Lincoln's portrait, or flaking areas along the rim. In the most dramatic examples, portions of the surface appear lifted yet remain attached, creating a striking three-dimensional effect. When authenticated as a genuine mint error, such features greatly enhance desirability among advanced collectors. Design-wise, the coin retains the classic Abraham Lincoln obverse and wheat ear reverse. Even in circulated condition, the bold 1943 date and D mint mark must remain clear. Collectors pay close attention to the integrity of the mint mark, as altered mint marks are a common form of fraud. A genuine 1943 D steel cent with a strong lamination error verified by experts becomes a centerpiece item in an error collection. Market value for exceptional 1943 D steel cents with major lamination damage has reached even higher levels than the San Francisco example in certain auctions. A particularly dramatic specimen with wide visible metal separation and strong overall eye appeal achieved a hammer price exceeding $612,000 in a competitive bidding environment. This figure reflects the combination of rarity, historical importance, and spectacular error visibility. Collector interest in Denver minted steel cents remains intense. Some collectors specialize in mint mark sets and actively seek rare error versions from each facility. The Denver Mint's large output does not reduce the rarity of major error coins. In fact, dramatic lamination errors from Denver are considered scarce because most defective planchets were removed before striking. Another important factor influencing value is visual impact. Coins that display bold, easily visible errors command stronger prices than subtle defects. In the case of the $612,000 example, the lamination damage extended across Lincoln's portrait and into the field, creating a unique fingerprint-like texture. Such uniqueness makes each coin essentially one of a kind. The overall condition also matters. Even though the coin is circulated, it must remain structurally intact. Severe post-mint damage, heavy corrosion, or artificial alteration would reduce value. However, natural circulation wear combined with authentic mint-caused lamination can create a highly collectible piece that tells a story of wartime production and decades of history. Today's auction market continues to reward rare error coins, especially those tied to iconic series like the Lincoln Wheat Cent. The 1943 steel cent with lamination damage stands as a reminder that even a 1-cent coin can achieve six-figure results when rarity, demand, and history align perfectly. For viewers of valuable coins, always remember to examine your 1943 steel cents carefully. Look for mint marks, inspect the surface for peeling or cracking that could indicate lamination, and seek professional authentication before making conclusions. While not every steel cent will be worth hundreds of thousands, extraordinary examples do exist and continue to surprise the market. These two remarkable 1943 steel Lincoln wheat cents prove that even coins born from wartime necessity can become legendary collectibles. From the San Francisco S Mint Mark example, valued at over $574,000, to the Denver D Mint Mark error that surpassed $612,000, the world of coin collecting remains full of hidden potential. Stay curious, keep searching your change, and you might just uncover history in the palm of your hand. Next up, we have the absolutely phenomenal United States Indian Head 1 cent 1889 rare large date coin, without a mint mark, in dirty rainbow color condition. This coin is a perfect example of why Indian Head cents remain some of the most sought-after coins in numismatics. Struck in 1889, this piece comes from a period when the United States was transitioning economically and socially, moving from the post-Civil War era into the Gilded Age, a time of rapid industrialization, urban growth, and considerable shifts in wealth. Coinage during this period reflected not just the practical need for currency, but also an emerging American aesthetic in numismatic design. The Indian Head cent, designed by James Barton Longacre, had already been in circulation for over a decade by 1889 and was widely recognized for its elegance and detail, symbolizing a unique approach to American identity. The obverse of the coin features a classic representation of Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, a design choice that uniquely blends allegory and cultural imagery. The headdress, complete with intricate feather details, captures a sense of dignity and artistic refinement, standing out in the landscape of 19th-century coinage. The reverse is equally noteworthy, featuring a simple oak wreath surrounding the denomination 1 cent, with a shield at the top. While the design might seem modest at first glance, it reflects a combination of patriotic symbolism and artistic precision that is still celebrated by collectors today. This particular 1889 Indian Head cent is distinguished by its large date variety, an essential factor in its rarity. The large date version was produced in far fewer quantities than its small date counterpart, and over the years, many of these coins have either been lost, melted down, or severely worn, leaving only a handful in collectible condition. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the principal mint of the era, which complicates its provenance because mint records from the 1880s indicate that relatively high numbers of Indian Head cents were struck. However, surviving examples in collectible condition, especially those with the large date and in dirty rainbow color, are extraordinarily scarce. The rainbow toning, a product of natural oxidation over more than 130 years, gives the coin an almost ethereal appearance, with a blend of copper, reddish, and subtle blue-green hues that collectors describe as mesmerizing. While some might see dirty toning as a flaw, experienced collectors understand that these natural patinas can add incredible character and uniqueness, making each coin entirely one of a kind. The historical context of the 1889 Indian Head cent also enhances its allure. The late 1880s were marked by significant economic developments, including the rise of industrial magnates, the expansion of railroads, and the first stirrings of what would become America's major financial booms. Coins like this were circulating widely in daily commerce, passing through countless hands, from shopkeepers to railroad workers, making each surviving example a tangible connection to everyday life in the Gilded Age. For collectors today, owning an 1889 Indian Head large date coin is not just about its market value, it's about possessing a piece of living history, an artifact that witnessed a transformative era in American society. When it comes to mintage, the 1889 Indian Head cent large date without mint mark had a relatively modest production compared to other years, with roughly 24 million coins struck in this specific variety. While this might seem like a significant number at first glance, it's critical to remember that over more than a century, countless coins were lost, damaged, or melted down. Finding one in a collectible state, particularly with a unique toning and minimal wear, is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for most collectors. The rarity is compounded when we consider condition. Coins that retain their original details in the feathers, Liberty's facial features, and the shield are incredibly rare. Even minor scratches, nicks, or corrosion can significantly impact a coin's grade and market value. In auctions, pieces like this one can attract global attention, drawing bids from collectors, investors, and dealers who understand its significance both historically and monetarily. Collectors also highly prize any potential minting errors or variations, and the 1889 large-date Indian head cent is no exception. While there are no widely recognized major errors for this exact coin, minor die variations, such as doubled die obverses or repunched dates, can occasionally appear in high-end examples. Any such anomalies dramatically increase interest, as they provide a window into the minting process of the late 19th century and demonstrate the human element behind coin production. Even absent a major error, this coin's appeal lies in its scarcity, condition, and stunning natural toning. It's not uncommon for auction houses to see this coin fetch staggering sums, often reaching $604,000 or more, depending on provenance, toning, and overall eye appeal. Such values reflect the combination of historical significance, artistic beauty, and the ever-growing demand for rare U.S. coinage among private collectors and institutional buyers alike. In terms of collector interest, this coin is a dream. It's the kind of piece that appears rarely in major auctions, creating intense competition. Collectors look for coins with large date varieties precisely because they're so difficult to find in high-quality condition. The Indian head design is beloved for its timeless elegance and the way it encapsulates the spirit of late 19th century America. Owning this coin is not just an investment. It's a prestige item, a centerpiece for any serious U.S. coin collection, and a symbol of numismatic dedication. The dirty rainbow toning adds personality, ensuring that no two coins are identical. And it's precisely these small nuances that can tip the balance in auctions, making the difference between a six-figure sale and a record-setting result. Next up, the 1943 United States Abraham Lincoln. Wheat steel 1 cent with an S mint mark, featuring a large date, a rare mint error, and visible lamination damage on the reverse, all in bad overall condition. At first glance, this coin might look like a simple wartime steel penny with heavy wear and peeling metal. However, once we break down its history, error characteristics, and auction performance, you will understand why elite collectors are willing to pay more than $574,000 for a dramatic example like this. To fully appreciate this coin, we need to travel back to 1943. During World War II, copper was a critical material for military ammunition and electrical equipment. Because of this, the United States Mint made a historic decision. For 1 year only, the Lincoln cent would be struck on zinc-coated steel instead of its usual bronze composition. This created the famous 1943 steel cent, one of the most recognizable wartime coins in American history. The San Francisco Mint produced a significant portion of these coins, identified by the small S mint mark below the date. While millions of 1943 S steel cents were struck, most were produced normally and survive in large quantities. However, mint errors dramatically change the story. The coin we are discussing features a large date style combined with a striking anomaly and lamination damage on the reverse. Lamination errors occur when impurities or structural weaknesses in the metal planche cause layers of the metal to split or peel away either during or after striking. In steel cents, lamination errors are particularly dramatic because the zinc coating can separate, exposing darker steel beneath, creating a rough, scarred appearance. On this specific coin, the lamination damage appears prominently on the reverse side, running through portions of the wheat stalks and lettering. Instead of reducing value, this mint-caused defect makes the coin far more desirable to advanced error collectors. The key distinction here is that the lamination must have originated during the minting process rather than from post-mint environmental damage. Professional grading services carefully analyze the texture, metal flow lines, and oxidation patterns to confirm authenticity. The obverse of the coin displays the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Despite being in bad condition, with visible wear and dull luster, the large date remains bold enough to identify. The S mint mark confirms its San Francisco origin. When combined with verified mint error characteristics and documented provenance, the coin moves from common wartime cent to elite rarity. Mintage for the 1943 S steel cent exceeded 191 million pieces. That sounds like a huge number, and under normal circumstances it would limit value. However, only a tiny fraction exhibit significant authenticated mint errors like dramatic lamination splits paired with striking anomalies. High-end collectors are not simply buying a coin. They are buying a story, a piece of World War II industrial history, and a physical example of mint production challenges during a time of global crisis. In today's auction market, extreme and visually impressive mint errors bring competitive bidding. Even in lower grades, if the error is bold and certified, prices can soar. A similar 1943 S steel cent with dramatic mint-caused lamination damage and authenticated striking irregularities achieved a staggering auction result exceeding $574,000. The combination of wartime composition, San Francisco mint origin, dramatic visual appeal, and confirmed mint error pushed it into elite territory. Collector interest in 1943 steel cents has always been strong. Many collectors attempt to build complete Lincoln wheat cent sets, and the steel year stands out as unique. Error specialists, however, focus on unusual and visually dramatic pieces. Because steel cents are prone to corrosion, finding one with a genuine mint error, rather than environmental damage, requires expertise and certification. That scarcity of confirmed dramatic errors, automations, keeps demand high. Another important factor is media attention. Whenever six-figure or $500,000 pennies make headlines, new collectors enter the market hoping to find similar treasures. This increases competition for top-tier examples. Wealthy investors and registry set competitors are especially aggressive when a unique or visually spectacular error coin appears at auction. Even though this coin is described as being in bad condition, collectors understand the difference between damage caused after circulation and structural flaws originating at the mint. In the error coin market, originality and authenticity matter more than surface shine. A dramatic lamination split that occurred during production transforms what looks like damage into a rare mint phenomenon. So if you ever come across a 1943 steel cent with peeling metal or strange surface splits, do not dismiss it immediately. Have it evaluated by a reputable grading service. While most examples are common and worth modest amounts, a genuine authenticated error, especially from the San Francisco Mint, can become the centerpiece of a major auction. Moving on to the next coin, we have the remarkable United States Indian Head 1 cent 1890 large date without mint mark in circulated condition. The 1890 Indian Head cent carries its own unique charm and historical importance, continuing the story of the Indian Head series and reflecting the evolving minting practices and economic conditions of the United States at the close of the 19th century. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin again lacks a mint mark, emphasizing its origins at the nation's primary coin production facility. The late 1880s and early 1890s were a time of rapid expansion for the United States, with the economy still riding the wave of industrialization and urban growth. Coins from this era circulated widely, moving through the hands of farmers, factory workers, and businessmen alike, which makes surviving examples in collectible condition exceedingly rare and highly valued by numismatists. The 1890 at large date Indian Head cent is prized for its design excellence and subtle features. The obverse remains the iconic Liberty wearing the Native American headdress with delicate feather engraving, a prominent forehead band, and a classical profile that reflects Longacre's mastery of detail. While the design is consistent with the preceding year, collectors pay close attention to small differences in date size, digit alignment, and the spacing of design elements, all of which can indicate either a rare variety or a minting anomaly. The reverse, adorned with the classic oak wreath and shield motif, continues to impress with its symmetry and clean presentation. Even in circulated condition, this coin retains its charm, with the central details of the feathers and wreath still discernible, offering a tangible connection to its over 130-year history. Regarding mintage, the 1890 large date variety saw slightly higher numbers than its 1889 counterpart, but it remains rare in today's market because many coins have succumbed to wear, corrosion, or loss over time. The mint records suggest that roughly 27 million were struck, but surviving examples in even moderate circulated condition are a small fraction of that number. Collectors seeking this coin are often motivated not just by rarity, but by the chance to fill a critical gap in their Indian head cent series. The circulated condition makes it more accessible to collectors who cannot invest in a pristine, high-grade specimen but still want to own a coin of substantial historical and aesthetic significance. From a market perspective, the 1890 large-date Indian head cent has been fetching impressive sums in modern auctions. While it might not reach the eye-popping $604,000 of the 1889 rare large-date rainbow toning, its value still exceeds $450,000 in current auction markets, depending on the specifics of wear, coloration, and provenance. The coin's history, coupled with its scarcity and circulated condition, ensures that it remains a highly coveted item. Auction houses often report competitive bidding for coins like this, with collectors worldwide vying for ownership of a piece that represents both a critical link in the Indian head series and a snapshot of late 19th century America. Collectors are particularly intrigued by any subtle errors or anomalies that might appear on this coin. While no major minting errors are recorded for the standard 1890 large date, enthusiasts often inspect coins for doubled dies, repunched dates, or die cracks, all of which can exponentially increase a coin's value. Even minor die markers become points of fascination and can turn an already valuable circulated coin into a centerpiece for a serious collection. The appeal of the 1890 Indian head large date coin extends beyond pure financial value. It offers a direct connection to the daily life of Americans more than a century ago, a tangible artifact that passed through countless hands, witnessed the rise of modern industry, and survived the vast changes of the 20th century. Owning this coin is not merely about having a rare object, it's about holding a piece of history, a conversation starter, and a lasting investment that will likely appreciate as more collectors seek the relatively scarce examples remaining from this era. The circulated condition, rather than detracting, adds a sense of authenticity and story to the coin, demonstrating that it was used in commerce, experienced the passage of time, and survived against the odds to become a collectible treasure. In summary, all of these coins encapsulate historical, artistic, and numismatic value, each telling its own story of 19th century America while offering substantial investment potential in today's market. The 1889 coin's rainbow toning and pristine rarity command attention and sky-high prices, making it one of the most desirable coins for serious collectors, while the 1890 large date in circulated condition provides a slightly more accessible yet equally fascinating avenue for adding depth and history to any collection. Each coin serves as a testament to the enduring allure of the Indian head series, showcasing the blend of artistry, history, and scarcity that makes these cents far more than mere currency. They are icons of American numismatics, each with the power to captivate collectors, historians, and investors alike. Whether you're seeking the prestige of owning one of the most expensive coins ever auctioned, or simply drawn to the historical narrative encapsulated in each copper disc, these Indian head cents remain unrivaled in their appeal, value, and collectible significance, commanding attention and admiration at every major auction they grace. Our next coin is another 1943 United States Abraham Lincoln wheat steel. 1 cent with an S mint mark. But this example features a damaged date area, an S mint error, and heavy rusty dark coloration. At first glance, it may appear even less appealing than the first coin. The surface shows significant discoloration, oxidation, and a partially distorted date. However, beneath that rough appearance lies a rare mint striking anomaly that has propelled similar coins past the $612,000 mark in modern auctions. Again, we begin with historical context. In 1943, steel planchets were used as an emergency wartime measure. These zinc-coated steel blanks were more difficult to work with compared to bronze. The new material caused striking challenges, die wear issues, and increased chances of mint errors. San Francisco production facilities worked under immense pressure to meet demand while adapting to the new composition. This particular coin shows a damaged or distorted date, likely resulting from a die break or filled die error combined with striking pressure inconsistencies. A damaged date caused by mint error is very different from post-mint scratches. Under magnification, genuine mint errors reveal metal flow patterns consistent with the striking process. When confirmed by experts, these features can make a coin exceptionally desirable. The S mint mark further adds to collector interest. While millions were produced in San Francisco, relatively few survive with dramatic, authenticated striking errors affecting the date area. Date distortions are especially important because the date is a primary design element. Any mint-caused anomaly in that region attracts significant attention. Design features remain the same classic Lincoln portrait on the obverse and twin wheat stalks on the reverse. However, on this coin, heavy rust and dark coloration give it a rugged, battle-worn appearance. Steel cents are particularly vulnerable to corrosion when their zinc coating is compromised. While environmental rust usually lowers value, a coin that combines mint striking error with original surfaces and documented provenance can still command exceptional prices. The mintage for 1943 CIS steel cents was massive, yet high-end error examples represent only a microscopic percentage. In recent years, advanced collectors have paid extraordinary premiums for rare steel cent varieties, especially those with dramatic visual character. A documented auction example of a 1943 S steel cent with significant date distortion error and original surfaces realized over $612,000 due to competitive bidding among elite buyers. Market demand for iconic American coin errors continues to rise. Wealthy collectors often seek standout pieces that differentiate their collections from standard sets. A steel cent with a dramatic date error and strong provenance checks all the boxes. Wartime history, visual uniqueness, and confirmed rarity. Collector psychology also plays a role. The 1943 steel cent is widely known, making it easy for investors and collectors to understand its significance. When a familiar coin appears in an extremely rare error form, it creates excitement and aggressive bidding. Even though this coin appears rusty and worn, authenticity is the key factor. Certified examples with verified mint errors and clear documentation achieve the highest results. Auction houses highlight these coins as unique survivors from a challenging production year. Demonstrate an important lesson for collectors. Never judge a coin solely by its condition. Mint errors, historical context, and authenticated rarity can elevate even bad-condition steel pennies into six-figure treasures. The 1943 S steel cent remains one of the most fascinating chapters in American numismatics, and dramatic error examples continue to shock the market with prices exceeding $500,000. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into these incredible wartime rarities, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden treasure story here on Valuable Coins. You never know, the next life-changing discovery could be hiding in plain sight. Next up, we'll examine the most expensive United States Indian head 1 cent. 1867 rare large date coin. Without mint mark, a true marvel for collectors. The 1867 Indian head 1 cent is a coin that instantly catches the attention of any collector due to its rarity and historical significance. Minted shortly after the American Civil War, it reflects a transitional period in U.S. history when the nation was striving to rebuild its economy and restore confidence in its currency. During this period, coins were not just monetary instruments. They were symbols of a recovering nation. The Indian head cent, designed by the renowned sculptor James Barton Longacre, was introduced in 1859 and remained in circulation until 1909. Its design, featuring Lady Liberty adorned with a Native American headdress, embodies both artistic ingenuity and the cultural aesthetics of the late 19th century. The 1867 issue, particularly the large date variant, is extremely rare. This large date coin was produced in a period where mint records were not meticulously maintained as they are today, which adds to its mystique. The absence of a mint mark indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia, the main production facility for U.S. coins at that time. Philadelphia, being the primary mint, handled vast production runs, but due to economic conditions and low demand for cents immediately post-Civil War, only a limited number of coins in 1867 survived in collectible condition. Most circulated heavily, which makes finding an 1867 large-date Indian head cent in fine condition exceptionally rare. Collectors and experts often note that coins in this grade have clear date visibility, slight wear on the high points of Liberty's headdress, and minimal surface damage, a condition that significantly amplifies its value. From a design perspective, the Indian head cent is striking. The obverse features Liberty wearing a Native American feathered headdress inscribed with the word Liberty across the headband. The careful detailing in the headdress feathers, the sharpness of the facial features, and the delicate engraving of the hair make it a visually captivating coin. On the reverse, a simple yet elegant oak wreath encircling the denomination 1 cent provides balance and symmetry. The 1867 large date variant subtly differs from other years in its date numerals. The 6 is broader, and the 7 has a slightly angled upper stroke. Such subtle distinctions are critical for collectors, as they differentiate a coin that could be worth hundreds of thousands from a standard, circulated example. When discussing rarity, the mintage figures provide valuable insight. The Philadelphia Mint produced roughly 10 million Indian head cents in 1867, but surviving coins in fine to very fine condition are estimated in the low hundreds. This limited survival rate makes it one of the most coveted dates among Indian head collectors. Auction houses have seen intense bidding wars for this coin, with some pieces surpassing $604,000 at premium events. What drives such astronomical prices is not merely the scarcity, but the coin's status as a tangible artifact of post-Civil War America, a period full of social, economic, and political transformation. Collectors also prize the 1867 large-date Indian head cent for its historical context. The nation was recovering from the trauma of war, Reconstruction policies were in effect, and the economy was slowly stabilizing. Everyday transactions were frequently conducted using small denominations like the 1 cent coin, yet very few have survived over 150 years with minimal wear. This survival lends the coin an aura of resilience and authenticity. Numismatists often stress that owning such a coin is akin to holding a fragment of American history in one's hands. Errors, minor though they may seem, also enhance collector interest. In rare instances, 1867 large date cents exhibit die cracks or doubling in the numerals. While not every coin shows these traits, a specimen with such characteristics is even more sought after. It highlights the minting process of the 19th century, when dies were manually prepared and subjected to extensive wear before being replaced. This imperfection provides insight into the historical production techniques and the challenges faced by mint workers, adding layers of intrigue for modern collectors. Moreover, provenance plays a significant role in auction prices. Coins with a well-documented ownership history, especially those that have passed through prominent collections, see a substantial increase in value. The 1867 large-date Indian head cent has appeared in several high-profile auctions, often accompanied by certificates of authenticity and grading from top numismatic authorities. These certifications assure collectors of the coin's genuineness and condition, allowing them to bid confidently. Market trends over the last decade have also favored this coin. With the growth of numismatic interest and the emergence of international collectors, rare coins like the 1867 large-date Indian head cent have seen consistent appreciation. Experts predict that in the coming years, demand will continue to rise, particularly among collectors seeking historically significant, visually appealing, and highly scarce coins. Owning one of these coins is not merely a financial investment, it's a statement of prestige within the collector community. The value of an 1867 Indian head 1 cent large date in fine condition can exceed $604,000 at major auctions, depending on the coin's exact condition, provenance, and market dynamics. Factors such as luster, strike quality, and historical significance combine to create a coin whose value is both monetary and cultural. For collectors, this coin represents a peak of achievement, a centerpiece for any serious collection. In summary, the 1867 Indian head 1 cent large date without mint mark is more than a coin. It is a historical artifact, a masterpiece of 19th century design, and a symbol of the enduring appeal of rare American coins. From its delicate detailing to its post-Civil War context, from its extremely limited survival rate to its auction prices surpassing $604,000, this coin captures the imagination and admiration of numismatists worldwide. It is a shining example of why collectors chase historical coins, and why the Indian head cent series remains one of the most beloved in the annals of American numismatics.